What up, YouTube? So today is going to be part 5 of the Honda Civic ej1 k20 swap build, and pretty much going to go over everything that's going to be needed to do the k20 swap. So I get a lot of people asking me what's the parts list and what I'm actually using. So this is pretty much a complete budget kit to get your car running. It doesn't have a whole bunch of fancy things, but it will actually get this car started and you will be driving on the road. So pretty much going to go over everything that I use to get a basic setup going, and then I always tell people get running and then start upgrading. But it's better to be running than sitting on all these parts and just sitting and just looking at them. So first thing we're going to get to is, if you have the swap, this is what you need. Like, you pretty much do need a full swap with your engine harness and your charge harness, and your half shaft. So this is just pretty much to complete everything to bring it together. So we'll start off with the axles. Now the axles I always use are RSX base model axles. They bolt right in. You don't have to have any modifications. Some people say, can you use EP3? You can use EP3, but it's a hassle. You have to swap out the inner shafts and actually do modifications. With RSX base axles, they bolt right in, no problems, nothing to worry about. If you do have 36mm hubs, you can use Type S. Type S is 36, base model is 32. So most Honda Civics, unless you're 5-lugged, will be 32mm. So just get base axles. You can get any brand. They're all pretty decent. If you want to upgrade to a bigger stage, like Insane shafts, or Yonaka makes good axles. Pretty much, like I said, this is more of a budget, so trying to keep it as cheap as possible. But yeah, that's the axles. As far as headers, so these are some K-Tune headers. Decent budget. I think they're probably like the cheapest headers you can get that are actually good quality. K-Tune actually makes really good headers, so when you're going towards them, fitment and quality is pretty good. I've had a lot of problems with PLM, so I'm not going to give them a good recommendation. Always have to modify or do something weird with them. So I would stick to K-Tune. As far as that, if you want to go even more budget, you can just use a stock TSX exhaust manifold and downpipe. That'll work too. They're actually probably like $100 on eBay. And yeah, that's pretty much the budget way. And then these are the O2 sensors off of the Type S. The Type S O2 sensors are wideband, and we are using the stock ECU, so we will be running both O2 sensors. The second one will just have to be on a defouler so it doesn't get too much exhaust to throw a check engine light. And that's pretty much it on as far as exhaust systems, as far as budget wise. Yeah, so next is running the slim fan. So the throttle body is actually very close to the fan when you swip it, when you use the swap radiator fan side. So I always run a slim fan. They work really good. I haven't had any issues with those as far as clearance and working. And that brings us to the radiator kit. So when if you're just using your stock radiator, you can get the bracket kit. The bracket kit will relocate to the other side, and pretty much you can use the hoses. These are the hoses that they come with, and it actually comes with the fan switch kit, so you can run your fan off of this right here. If you're using your stock radiator, I like to get this because it just keeps it basic. You can use your radiator from your single cam. They work just as good. Like I said, if you want to upgrade, you can do that as well, but I'm just letting you know that this setup right here will work just fine to get your car running and driving on the road. Next thing is the adapter plate. So EGs, unlike EKs, have a little bit less space. So this is one of the first designs of putting the shifter box into the car that goes under and clears. I've used this on my first K-swap, and it's fine. The only thing about this type of setup is you do have to cut, which is nothing wrong, but some people don't like that. And they go with a little bit more expensive one, which is fine. Like I said, this is just more of my way of doing a budget K-swap. So that's pretty much what I go with. If you just have a stock shifter box, which is fine. I like to run stock shifter boxes anyways, because they don't have any lockout with the aftermarket ones. Not saying that the aftermarket ones are bad. I just prefer myself to have a stock box and stock cables actually. But yeah, this is a shifter box kit. I think they go for like 130, 40 bucks. But yeah, that will have your shifter installed and you don't have to worry about anything. Next is the pulley kit. So we got a pulley kit right here that comes with the belt and everything. This setup is for if you're deleting your AC as well. If you're still gonna run AC, you're just gonna have to run EP3 belt from Honda 02 to actually 11, because FG2 FA5 is the same. So as far as that, just need a pulley to basically for idler pulley, if you're gonna delete the power steering as well. If you're not deleting the power steering, then you won't need this at all. But on this car particularly, we are. So that's pretty much, there is a lot more expensive kits and everything to delete it and do all that, but I like to just keep it simple. So I went with that. Intake wise, just a simple setup, like I said, just to have a little bit more power. And the stock airbags usually kind of has, it's a little bulky, so it might not fit as good when running K. So plus, if you're going K series, you're probably gonna want more power anyway, so just better to go ahead and do that. If you haven't watched the last video, this is the stock ECU with immobilizer. And if you watched the last video, I show you exactly how to wire this up and pin it into the conversion harness. Like I said, this does have to be inside in order for this to work. You don't need this alarm, I just have it on there. But yeah, so we got a stock Type S ECU with key and immobilizer. They do have to match. You can't just go buy an immobilizer and a key and an ECU that haven't matched. That won't work. So this is the conversion harness. All these parts that I'm saying are pretty much for every K-swap. So every K-swap is pretty much gonna need this stuff. So as far as parts list, the only thing that really gets different is like the conversion harness. And this is for EG. They have EG DC, and they have EK, and then the newer EK. There's two different EKs, so 96 to 98, and then there's 99 2000, and then Integra is the same thing, I believe. I think the old 2000, 99 2000 and 2001 Integra might be a different conversion harness. So check your year to make sure. That's pretty much the only thing that's not universal. If you're doing a swap in different types of cars, you can just buy a universal kit and wire it up yourself. Next is basically your temp gauge. So this is just the adapter. This will go on top of the intake manifold, and it runs off of this wire right here, or at least one of these wires that goes into the engine bay, and you'll get your temperature to your gauge cluster. And it's pretty simple. It's just like a $30 kit or whatever. And this right here is your clutch line kit. So the clutch line kit basically just simplifies it. You're using your stock master cylinder off your stock car, and then running a K series slave cylinder. So this will bring all that up together. It's like 50 bucks for that. It's actually not that expensive. The next thing will be fuel system. So with fuel system, since I deleted the stock one, I'm running a inline, and just with this fuel kit, comes with the lines, all the adapters and fittings you need. And I've been running this kit pretty much on every car I've had, and haven't had any issues at all. So that's pretty straight. So pretty much you got your electronics to get the car started, you got your fuel, and then everything else is pretty much just to get the car running. Like I said, with that ECU and key, it will start the car. You just need your fuel and your ignition, and hopefully if your motor is good, then it should start right up on the first try, which most of my videos, if you check them out, they do. I usually don't have any issues other than that. This car is going to be going manual conversion, so I got pedals as well, but there's no point of showing you that. That's just for this swap. I'm pretty sure most of you guys are manual already, but if you aren't, all you really do need is pedals, slave and master with that clutch line, and you pretty much have a converted 6-speed car, 5-speed car. So other than that, like I said, this is for budget swappers who pretty much have your motor, your transmission, shifter cables, half shaft, and pretty much that's what you would have to for this to work. So if you guys have any questions, you can hit me up on honda.mike1988@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Instagram, which is rarewooded_, or just hit me up in the comment sections. If you haven't, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next video.